And we're back. You're listening to On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty right here in the beautiful downtown Detroit. And okay, so if you're just tuning in, I'm so sorry. You missed out on a wonderful talk about food, our Food Phenom segment, and he is a phenomenal cook or smoker.
It was amazing.
Oh my God. This food tastes like
Butter.
It was so good. I've never had chicken without
any type of sauce.
No sauce.
Nothing. Oh and it was juicy.
God. And it fell off it just pulled off. And I can still taste it now. And the bone. You can use the bone of this thing.
I know.
This is
to make soups and all kind of stuff.
Oh, I could probably use it on my green beans or greens and heat it. Oh, it's gonna give it a good flavor. Okay, so
look, eyes are over here like
our eyes are just big, just greedy for no good reason. I am so excited because I have someone in the studio with me who is doing something phenomenal, and I almost want to say, I don't want to say unheard of, but I love the fact that she's using her platform in a very positive manner, because there's so many ways to use platforms. Some people don't use it at all, but she is definitely stepping out. Miss Kristen, is it Matoyer?
Matoyer,
and CRISSMARIE of the VH1 hit reality TV show Basketball Wives of LA is available right now and here with us, and I'm so glad she's here in the Detroit metropolitan area, and she's been here a little while. I've been seeing her hanging out. I hope you like the D.
Oh, you know what? I've been back and forth from Detroit for the past, I've been with my boyfriend going on 8 years.
Okay.
Like 8 years, so yeah. I've been back and forth. But yeah, the D is like my second home.
Ah, we love it. She has, unfortunately, had to go through a lot of different things, even with being on Basketball Wives of LA. Ironically, unfortunately, she's been, I don't want to say ostracized or picked on or bullied, I guess would be the word, for things from appearances to her decisions, which are her decisions to make either way. Mm-hmm. And you see it play out before the world.
Yes.
And that's something very different that most people don't understand, that it's one thing to go through something privately, but when you have millions of people watching you, it becomes a whole nother thing.
Especially when you weren't expecting it to play out that way. When you really just get thrown into something and you're just like a deer in the headlights, that enhances it like 10 million
times. Yeah.
10 million,
sure. 10 million times. Yeah. Okay, so for those who don't know, let us know, because there's some people who may not have seen Basketball. Shame on you, Basketball Wives of LA.
Oh, shame on you.
But tell us a little bit about the show, because I know the show is executive produced by Shani O'Neal,
yes,
which is Shaquille O'Neal's ex-wife, and it's so many other people who now I guess we just love to see be based upon their role. Now, you can say love to see, or you can say maybe not love to see, based upon their attitude. But last season, on season 6, we saw a lot of different things, and one of the things was an unfair, I just think downright just rude, display of women power, especially from me, just coming off the cusp of the women's convention that we had that went on a couple hall, where it's empowering women, and then you see something like that where women are tearing each other down.
Yeah.
Talk about that and why it propelled you to want to make a difference by speaking out about bullying versus going along to get along. Because there's a lot of people who do that.
Right.
They don't want to rock the boat.
Right.
You know, hey, I'm on TV nationally. I'm not going to rock the boat. I'll just do this. I'll continue to take it. But you said no.
Yeah, and you know what? And what's crazy is for a while, like, I kind of kept, like, after the show, what people don't know is I literally shut down for 3 months.
Wow.
Like, I only dealt with my daughter, you know, my parents, you know, my boyfriend. Other than that, I literally closed off from the world because I had to, like, really bring myself back to, you're Kristen, you're fly, who cares what, you know, what anyone else says.
Yes.
So, you know, on the show, you know, I'm coming on the show, you know, I'm thinking I'm fly. I mean, not thinking. I knew I was fly.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And just to have people, like, kind of criticize me and, like, pick me apart because I'm not the standard, what is it, standard quo or whatever, that they're trying to make this image of what a basketball wife is, which if you are really still a part of this world, which it's a new generation of basketball wives, we don't always, you know, come to the games, you know, stilettoed out. We might wear tennis shoes, you know. There's so many different forms of basketball wives in the way we dress, you know, nowadays that, you know, which I'm one of them. And I was, like, literally torn down for that, you know.
But see, the way they tear down is a whole nother level of tear down.
Yeah, it is. And you know, when I just want to clear this up. When we say bullying, I wasn't physically bullied. Right. There's different forms of bullying.
Yes.
And mentally, you know what I mean? That's where I felt like I was mentally bullied. You know what I mean? And that rolled off into, you know, the social media, the cyberbullying. Because what people don't understand is, like, yeah, you think you said this for a show, or, you know, you said this on TV, but now what they don't know is, like, you said this, but now every time I post a picture, you know what I mean? People are tearing me down. You know what I mean? Like, oh, she doesn't know how to dress. She doesn't have no style. You know what I mean? And it's sad, though, because it's like I still have a younger sister that's, like, 17 now, you know, and she sees it. And then I have a daughter that now it's like I don't even want to put her on my social media page to where that's what I used to do. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Because it's like now
start tearing her down.
Yeah. So it's like it's bigger than just trying to be a mean person, or you think you're being funny, or all that. It's like that. Especially to say stuff like that on TV. It's like, it's bigger than that. It's
and just to clear up, because a lot of people say, well, it's reality TV, it's scripted, they knew. Please shed some light, because I've talked to a few people and I've done my research, and a lot of times it's just stuff that happens that you really don't know.
No, you don't.
It is, you are blindsided, and I think the reason why it's done in that manner is for rating purposes.
Yeah, drama sells.
Yeah, unfortunately. So how when that first happened, started to happen, because once it starts, they kind of feed off on it and kind of continue it. How do you handle that? How did you handle it? How did you continue to be able to get up and say, okay, you know what? I'm contracted. I've done this. I've said I'm going to do this. Let's do this.
Well, see, what a lot of people didn't see is when the whole infamous makeover was presented to me. I was like, I'm one of those people, like, you're not gonna, shit, we're all gonna laugh together. Excuse my language. Right. Like, we're all gonna laugh together. You guys aren't gonna laugh at me. Like, I'll do the makeover, but trust and do believe I'm going back to being who I am. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't see that part. Okay. They didn't see me say that. You know what I mean? So it's like I was going, and that's why I kind of went along with it. You know what I mean? But then as I was going with it, it triggered other insecurities. You know what I mean? Because it's like at that point where I was in my life, it's like I was dressing because I had gained weight. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I'm thinking, like, you know, hey, this is cute for my size right now. You know what I mean? And I feel comfortable. I feel confident. But people don't understand is, like, me not living up to your expectation or what, you know, the standard that you're, you know, throwing out there is, like, that's hurting me. You know what I mean?
Yes, and everybody isn't that. Everybody isn't that. So basically what you're doing now is you're giving a voice. You're giving a voice to people who don't have a voice now. And when did you say, you know what? I'm going to turn this around. I got you guys. I can do this.
You know what? As much as I was getting like cyberbullying, I was getting a lot of women telling me like, oh, you handled that situation classy. You know, I'm dealing with weight, you know what I mean, which I feel like I don't dress, like I don't know how to dress now. So it's like a lot of women were reaching out to me, like DMing me, were coming up to me, you know, on the street, you know, like when I tell you I've been stopped so many times in my DMs and letters that women just thank me for making them feel like if you can go through it and, you know, you're still smiling, then I know I can. You know what I mean? And then after that, it's like God just kept putting stuff on my heart. You know what I mean? To where it's like I was going in my DMs, I was going in my direct requests, you know, actually answering, listening, talking to people, just letting them, you know, like whatever they were going to, letting them pour, you know, pour it out. Like, I'm here, talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, and I would just give them encouraging words like, you know what, in the morning, wake up, tell yourself you're beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, or write on your mirror, I'm beautiful, you know, I can do anything through Christ that strengthens me. Like, just whatever you, like, even me, I love to look at quotes in the morning. You know what I mean? And I Google quotes and I research them, I look at them, and I always find the ones that speak to me. You know what I mean? And I might share it, and then it might speak to somebody else. So it's like I just encourage people, like, whatever you feel, you know, is a confident booster, do that. You know what I mean? And keep doing that. And just remember, you have to be happy for yourself. And don't let no one steal that from you.
And you know, so many people, including the youth, a lot of young ladies, unfortunately, with reality TV and with this day and age being what it is, they look to that as the role models, weirdly enough. And I know when I was coming up, it was kind of different. You know, I came up with Cosby Show, A Different World, you know, things of that nature. And now it's not that. And it is the reality shows, which, and I'm sure you know, reality shows aren't really reality. Not for real. Not like everyday reality. And so they try to mimic that. And so as you stated, they portray, you know, you have to look this way, you have to speak this way, you have to be this way. And that's not real. And so, weirdly enough, God, and he said all things work together. And he's literally allowed that to work together for your good. How does it feel now looking back?
Looking back, because during that time I was going through so much, like with family, you know what I mean, and the show all at once, that it's like I kind of, like, I always tell myself, like, oh, girl, you should have kept it a little bit more together. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, when you just get emotional, you just get emotional, you know? But it's like, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't change that experience for nothing, just because it showed me how strong I am. You know what I mean? And I feel like a little bit of that has, like, kind of guided me into like, I feel like one of my callings is like, you know, to be a helper. You know what I mean? To be maybe a self-esteem booster for other people, you know, and if I have to go through that, like, I don't mind it. You know, if I have to be the guinea pig or, you know, the one that takes all the beatings, you know, just to help out the next person, you know, it's like, I feel like that was what God wanted me and called me to do, because there's no other way. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be like a main character for real. So but God works in mysterious ways,
and you can't stop him. You cannot stop him. So is there a book coming?
You know what? That's so funny you said that. Because I was just I've talked to my boyfriend regarding books, but I'm getting into all that, speaking engagements, just anything I can do to just uplift people. You know, that's what I'm getting into. So
if there's someone online, or a young lady, or a woman for that matter, that feels that they could be being bullied, but they're not really sure. Is there some signs, telltale signs that you can say, oh yeah, you're being bullied if XYZ is happening, and you need to, at that point, do what?
When you feel that someone is attacking you in any kind of way, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, if something someone says or writes brings you out of your character, just like I said, mentally, emotionally, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a sign of bullying, because when a person or words can make you feel down or just not yourself, that's a sign of bullying.
That's Jesus calling. Oh. He's calling right now. Hey, we can ignore that. It's gotta stop. He knows. He knows right now that we're talking.
Right. How you doing?
Right. So anytime that you are not feeling like you're where you need to be, that you're feeling unsafe, attacked, belittled.
Right.
Then at that point, it is bullying.
It is.
And then at that point, what do you say? What type of advice would you give?
I would say if you can just remove that person out of your life, or just remove yourself from that environment that you're in, do so. Because at the end of the day, that's going to bring you way more happiness and joy at the end of the day. Because what people don't understand, negative spirits are real.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yes. Like, that's real. Spirits are real.
Yeah, they are.
So when a person is doing that to you, it's something that they're dealing with.
That's right.
And they're drawn to something that's bright about you. So they're trying to dim whatever that is shining bright about you. They're trying to dim
that's
that.
Good.
So
that's good.
So it's just like remove, block. You know what I mean? Like all that. Whatever you can do, block. Just block it, block. You know what I mean? That's all I can say is just block it.
That's good.
But
that's good.
Just remove yourself.
So what's next for you? Where can we see you? Where can we hear from you?
Well, just like I said, we're in the midst of picking up speaking engagements, and soon I'm gonna be posting that on my social media.
Okay.
Where I'm going to start my speaking engagements at.
Okay.
And I'm open. If anyone out here would love me to come talk, I'm open to come talking.
Yes, yes.
Just like I said, that's so funny you asked me about a book, because I was just talking to my boyfriend about, like, I feel like I need to write something.
Yes.
So
because people need to see it.
Yeah.
When we see words and it gets into our spirit, then we know. But sometimes we forget. And then we could always pick up the words. At least that's what I do. I pick up a book, and then it reminds me, okay, yeah, that's right. I was supposed to be doing X, Y, Z. And it just feeds your spirit.
It does. It does. That and negotiations are in works for next season. Okay. So and you might be seeing me.
That's okay. You know what? My thing is that you never know. You really never know how God works. And so if that's what he chooses
for me, right?
Yes, for you to still, his people have to be everywhere,
right? And if that money is right now, I'm just
I mean, listen, your gifts should make room for you. So if that's the case, then yes. If it's not, then no. But I get it. You have to. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, we have to live, and in order for us to be a blessing to other people, we have to first be blessed. So I'm not one of those who just say, oh no, you have to be. Because you love the Lord, you got to be lowly.
Right.
No. You have to help people.
Right.
And in order to help people, you have to first be able to help yourself. Exactly. And then have enough to help others. So, yes. I love your spirit.
Thank you.
I wish you so much success.
Thank you. I really
and for
appreciate
open doors.
I really appreciate this.
No. And please don't stop talking. Because there are people who need to hear your voice. You are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
gorgeous
you.
Then and now.
Thank you.
Nothing that people say has anything to do with who you truly are.
Thank you.
And people really do try to dim the light when they see a bright light coming.
They do.
So
yes, they do.
all that was. That's all that was. And I'd say that in front of each and every one of them still on my platform, because I change not for anyone. I'm true to who God made me. So I thank you so much for being on the go with me. You are welcome back anytime.
Okay.
And when the book comes out.
Oh, yeah. This is my first stop.
Okay. Please make sure that you come back. And it's more great food. We're going to eat more great food on the break. Because
you guys understand I might have to take a plate or two home.
Yes, you can. You can. Smokey G's. He did his thing. Tell us how we can find you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You guys can find me on Facebook. Well, Facebook, it's Kristen Metoyer. That's CRISTEN METOYER. And Twitter and Instagram, it's CRISSMARIE. Both of them, they're the same. CRISSMARIE. Both of them. And if you guys want to book me,
yes,
it is what is it? Going Pro Management.
Okay.
And yes.
Yes, book her. Going Pro Management. As you can see, she's beautiful, her spirit inside and out. And she can talk about what God allowed her to go through, because the mess that they tried to put her in became the message. And now you'll be able to help millions of people around the world. So we thank you so much. And you may just see her on Basketball Wives, possibly again. You may. And we need light everywhere. So I thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For being on the go.
Thank you.
You've been on the go with Kristen Metoyer of Basketball Wives of LA. I thank you so much. We'll be right back. You're listening to On the Go.
You're my baby, my lover, my lady. All night you make me want you. It drives me crazy. I feel like you were made just for me, babe.
You are listening to On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty. So trust God today, okay? That is the word of the day.
And I'm honored to have a phenomenal woman with us here to celebrate. She is a singer, a dancer, actress, composer, poet, educator, writer, civil rights activist, and the list can go on and on. She needs no introduction. She is affectionately known as the global Renaissance woman, Dr. Maya Angelou. Good afternoon, Dr. Angelou. It is an honor. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mrs. Patton. Miss Patton. It's a pleasure to sit here and wonder what on earth are you going to ask me. I'm really looking forward to finding out what I think.
I'm on the go with the very beautiful Kathy Hughes.
Unfortunately, a lot of women don't open the door for other women, which is so bad. Radio has instant gratification. You can help people with the sound of your voice immediately, and to be able to connect people. So don't ever look back. Don't ever doubt yourself, and just know that when the time is right, the good Lord will send the blessing.
with confidence and rest upon your promises. You will never fail me. That's what your love is. Yes, truly amazing. That's what your joy is. The happiness that overflows my soul. God, your faith and love is better than life to me. I'm sure you've got a good thing. That's what your love is. Oh, it's truly amazing. That's what your joy is. The happiness that overwhelms my soul. God, your favor is better than life. It's better than life to me. I'm sure you've got a good thing.
And we're back. You are listening to On the Go with Tiffany Patton, and I'm back with she's just flawless. I'm flawless, and I'm so mad because I'm not Facebooking live, but there's some people in the room Facebooking live, and I will tag everybody, and I need y'all to tag me. Her face is like beat to the gods, okay? Not God, gods. It's beat to the gods with the WD. It is no other than and I call her sister, and I apologize for being so busy this past week with everything, women's convention, which was amazing, but this lady right here is she's a singer, she's a songwriter, most importantly, and that's really funny, I never intentionally do this, but she is a child of God. God just loves her, and she radiates, but you can kind of see that. You already know. There's something about God's children. There's a light that just follows them, and the light always comes with her, and she exudes it. But she had an amazing event called Seasons of Love. That was last week.
Yeah, last Sunday.
Last Sunday.
22nd.
Yes. And she shut it down, but it was so many amazing artists.
Yes.
At the Charles H. Wright Museum. Mm-hmm. And she, I don't know how you necessarily want to label yourself. Are you labeled as a gospel artist, or is it inspirational music, or is it just you're a single songwriter, and however God uses that, that's how he uses it?
Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a Christian that writes good music. And so, that allows me not to put myself in a box, whatever I do, because I represent him first. I write good love songs that glorify God. I write good papers that try to, I try to do that in everything that I do. And so, no, I don't have to write every lyric is Jesus is Lord, because he is Lord.
Yes.
That's my truth.
Yes.
And that is the truth. And so you'll hear that in the love song or the worship song. It don't matter.
I love it. I love it. Now, what we just listened to and what I've been playing is Good Thing.
Yeah.
Tell us about Good Thing.
Well, Good Thing is a song I wrote, am I supposed to say I wrote a couple years ago?
No, you can.
Okay. All right. So
you want to. Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah, so that's from my first album that came out Good Friday 2014. I wrote Good Thing. I just wanted to write a love song about how I feel about God, that you can groove to with your drop top. One day I want a drop top car, but I kind of envisioned just like riding up Jefferson and just thinking about how good the love of God is. And that's how, and I wrote that song in about 10 minutes and went over to my good friend Gabe's house, and we sat in his parents' basement, and I beat the beat on the table and hummed the melody, and he just started playing. We recorded my whole album in his parents' basement, between his house and the studio at my house. And just sitting at a table, beating on tables, and me humming, because I can't play yet.
Yeah,
I can't play the piano. I've been believing God for
that's
I
all
can
right.
tell you how many years, because then you'll know how old I am.
That's all right.
But I've been believing for a generation. And I still can't play just yet. And so God surrounds me with people who can interpret what I hear in my spirit. And it's a very small group of people who can do that, because writing music is such an intimate process. You can't do that with everybody, honey. You be ready to throw a javelin at somebody messing with your music. So that's my people. And Good Thing is a song that I hope people can really sense. And because the thing is, Good Thing didn't get any play on gospel radio. None. Wow. It started getting played overseas on, smooth jazz and R&B formats.
Yes.
And the feedback that I got was, I was shocked. People were shocked when they really listened to it. They said, wait a minute, this is a God song. Because you don't really initially get that. But I think that's how God made me. When you see me coming, you don't know. You know it's different. But it's always going to be something that brings God's glory. So, yeah, that's what Good Thing is about.
Well, you did that.
Thank you.
That was the first project.
Yep.
And when can we expect a second project?
Well, I am in the studio now.
Okay.
And the second project will be out Good Friday 2018.
All right.
Yes.
I love it. I love Good Fridays.
Yeah, I'm gonna be good, because that's when the first one came out. And I said, hey, I might as well just keep with tradition.
If it works.
I don't know if it's much of tradition, because I've only done it once before. But you
made it. Your
yeah,
tradition.
it's my tradition.
That's how tradition starts. You just
Right.
continue to be consistent.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so last Sunday, to see something that you birthed out or that was just given to you in a mere vision, how good did it feel to see? I mean, because even when you have visions, there may be things that may not go exactly how you envision it, but it's still the end result.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
It was amazing. Just, I did a Facebook Live, I think yesterday or the day before. And one of the things I said was just like with Joseph, God showed him a scene without showing him the scenario.
That's true.
And that's the life of most believers. God will show you moments of glory, moments of things that he wants you to do, but he don't always show you the struggle. And Seasons of Love, I've been doing it for 3 years. And just seeing it come to fruition was amazeballs, right? I mean, God just and people actually got the story of what we were trying to communicate, because Seasons of Love was designed to minister initially to Christian couples, but then God was like, no, take the limits off of me. Come out the box. And just talk about love. And so that's what we wanted to tell, the story of love through songs. We talk about painful moments in love, when you're falling out of love, because a lot of Christians don't talk about this, a lot of preachers don't preach about it, but I've gone through seasons in my life where I was absolutely disappointed with God. There's a scripture that says, I've never seen the righteous forsaken nor their seed begging bread. But then there's sometimes, I don't know if your listeners can identify, but there's been times when I didn't necessarily have a lot of bread.
Exactly.
And I felt pretty forsaken.
Yes.
And I'm like, God, this isn't lining up with your word, and so I don't know what to think about you.
Yeah.
I could never bring myself to say, God, I don't love you, but I sure don't know what to think about you. And so that's how Path of Life came. It's been my journey, Path of Life. Walking with God doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always feel good to you. And sometimes you won't always understand that momentary darkness that you find yourself standing in. You're like, God, I know you say you love me, but this situation and this hardship doesn't feel like love, right?
Yes.
And we learn obedience to the things we suffered, just like Christ did. Christ had that moment on the cross. He was like, wow, hast thou forsaken me? And this is God made flesh.
Yes.
And so, but Christ had the foresight to say, I know that there is glory beyond this cross. And so that's what Seasons of Love is about, telling the seasons of love. And love doesn't always feel gushy. Love doesn't always feel grand. Sometimes it's very painful, and sometimes it feels like you're all alone. But the ultimate goal is that when you come through the process, you end up looking like more love.
Yes.
You look like love.
Yes. And that's the thing. That is the thing. She just preached a whole little sermon, I'm thinking, in like a few moments. So, with that being said, when people try to put you in a box, because they do.
Yeah.
How do you let them know who you are without having to be placed? Because see, a lot of times, and I don't know why or when or who started this, but you can either only be saved and in that arena, or you're not saved. And that is silly to me, because for you to be saved, you have to be in a gospel type arena. And for me, that's never, God has always told me that's not where he wanted. I started there, but I knew starting there. He told me once I put myself there. And I don't want to say I put myself there because he allowed the door to open, but he told me going in the door, this is not where I'm keeping you. Because I need you to talk to the people who don't know me. I don't need you to keep talking to the people that do. And I need you to show them in a different manner. How do you do that without, I guess, losing your witness of it all? Because I think that's what people are afraid to do. Devon Franklin just did a book talking about Hollywood and still being representing Christ in Hollywood. How do you do that?
Well, okay, so Tiffany, the thing with me is I gave my heart to the Lord as a young kid, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember when it exactly happened. I know it was probably 5 or so. I've spent my life loving God. And so because my relationship with God has never been about people, I don't allow people to question my relationship with him. It's just like, when you marry, your marriage is not between you and the world. The only job the world has to see is to look at it. It don't have any voice in it.
That's right.
And so because when you get into letting people define you, that's how you get messed up, right? And so, for me, now, this is 40-year-old Rashida talking. Had you asked me this question at 20, I would say, well, I first had to talk to my bishop to make sure it was okay with him to get his blessing to do what I'm doing. And God was like, no, I remember when I was 7 years old. I grew up in Houston, Texas, and it's a show used to come on TV. I don't know if you remember it. It was called Star Search. Remember Star Search? Every Sunday I would watch Star Search and get mad. I would get mad. I'd be like, I want to be on Star Search. Jesus, I love you. I want to go on Star Search and sing about you.
Right.
And then as I remember this one Sunday I was standing in the mirror singing in my brush, and I looked in the mirror and God showed me nations.
Wow.
At 7.
Yep.
He didn't show me churches.
Yes.
He didn't show me all the stuff that I thought that I was supposed to see. And even at 7, I couldn't define that. But then from that age until about maybe 3 years ago, I spent my life trying to define myself by people's expectations and my expectations of myself. Yeah. And I thought I would be a preacher. I thought I would be a pastor's wife. I thought all this stuff. Yeah. And then God was like, no, how about you just settle into who I made you to be? How about you find out who Rashida is and be good with her? Not because, we are human beings, not human doings. And I think that's how people get so distracted and get off point from their calling, because they make their calling or what they are meant to do, they make it an idol. Yeah. They start worshiping the thing that they are created to do, when the thing that they're created to do is just the fruit of who they are. And so it's like, no. And so I think when you recognize that your service is your fruit, then you won't get messed up when people say they don't like you because you ain't really say where they see you having a drink. And they're like, oh my God, you're not filled with the Holy Ghost. Well, the fruit of the Spirit is a sign of being filled with the Holy Spirit. Yes. So, and I think a lot of people get messed up because they don't really know God like they think they do. When you don't know God's Spirit in you and you don't really have a connection in the way that brings you life, then you start trying to define your people and judge yourself by people. But the Bible says if you judge yourself by yourself, you know that don't end good for you. No. Jesus is the plumb line. Yes. And so as long as I am living a life that brings him glory and that's consistent with the Holy, because when I do stuff that's not right, I get this thing in my spirit like, Rashida, so quick. Yeah, and so I think you have to live your life being sensitive to the voice of the Spirit, yes. and that means that you have to have a quiet life. Your life can't be so busy and full of garbage and mess and people's voices to where you can't hear Him. I have a busy life, but my life is very quiet, and I never do things that. As soon as I don't have peace, I back up. Yes, and so like with Seasons of Love, things were happening, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm stressed. But does the stress mean I don't have peace? Yeah. And there's a difference. And I think that's where we kind of get messed up. We think because seasons or tests gets hard, that means God ain't in it because you're up against a battle. I mean, everybody in the Bible that God ever used in any kind of way always had to go through something. Yeah. And so, just like your last guest, I wanted to chime in so bad. I'm like, oh, Lord, let me at the mic. Just because people coming against you and saying things about you, the way you dress, the way you look, the way you sing. I remember when I first moved here to Michigan, there was this little girl on the playground. Her name was Sylvia. I can't say her last name. But anyway, so I was just swinging by myself. One of the things I will always go out by myself and write songs. I've been that way since I could write. Wow. She came over to me. It was like, Rashida, you think you can sing, but you can't sing. So-and-so can sing better than you. That happened to me at 10 years old, and I stayed in bondage to that for 20 years. Wow. Thinking Because the enemy always comes to people when they are young, either in age or in their spirit, to try to snuff out what God has called them to do. And so the lesson is, just because somebody comes to challenge who God made you to be, don't mean that you stop talking and you slack up and you back up. No, find your voice. Find that lion in you, and you bind the devil. Binding the devil means, it don't always mean Satan, I rebuke you, although sometimes you might need to sling some oil and rebuke some people. But sometimes binding the devil means, I'm not going to give you place to make me not be who God called me to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Find your voice and don't ever lose it.
And that is Rashida Johnson. Her voice. Now, okay. Now I'm gonna ask this. Now, you don't have to do this, because I think I tried this one once before. I don't know how successful I was, but would you like to?
You are so funny.
Sing a note. It does. You can say no though.
Oh, okay. What you want me to sing, sugar?
Well, whatever you feel like singing.
Let's see. What do I want to sing? It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. A wonderful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Would you be mine? Oh, I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. And since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Come on, y'all. Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? So, yeah, big ups to Mr. Rogers. He was my hero.
I love Mr. Rogers.
I love Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Fred Rogers was a G.
And
Did you know that? Yes. He was. Do you know he was a Marine?
No.
Yeah, he was special ops.
With the sweater?
Mr. Rogers,
Come
he would
on.
take him down. And he learned that patience because he had to learn how to control rage.
Yeah.
And that's why we saw the Mr. Rogers we grew up with, because
Oh,
the
I
Holy
love
Spirit
that.
showed him how to control the rage from the war.
This lady just sang Mr. Rogers'
Man, me too.
Neighborhood. Y'all heard that? She sounded like, oh please, Lena Horne or Nancy Wilson or with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
I love Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That was my stuff, man. That y'all love Mr. Rogers.
It's like,
Right.
I know one thing. Y'all better go grab this new album when it drops
Yeah,
on
Good
Friday of
2018.
2018.
It's going to be some good love songs, some good worship songs.
my
I'm going to be brave.
goodness.
I'm mixing both. You're going to get this album and get everything. Some songs that you listen to and make you fall in love again. And and the reason why I decided to do that, because the enemy tested me so hard in my marriage. We came so close so many times.
Wow.
We spent the first 13 years being miserable. And God was like, no, your greatest ministry is your greatest pain. And so God was like, minister to couples. And so I want to make I feel like who better to make music than people who love God and know the source of love.
Yes, who know love, because God is love.
Yep.
I thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So how can we find you, ma'am? I'm just really still blown away about Mr. Rogers.
You are so funny.
Hear that song again
You
the
are
same
so-
way.
You are so
God.
funny. So you can find me at Rashida Johnson Music. Rashida Johnson Music everywhere.
Absolutely wonderful. You are just absolutely wonderful, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh my
You
God.
are so funny. You're making me blush, man.
I can't believe it.
Right.
And I know this woman. I don't even understand. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Rashida Johnson Music, and then you were. Thank you so much for supporting Seasons of Love,
No.
Detroit.
Love.
Thank you
Love,
so
love.
much. We're having that next year too. Yeah, I already got a plan. This
All right.
Sunday, October 22nd at Charles
Okay.
Wright. Leon Timbo is coming back.
Yes.
He so enjoyed it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so come on now. I hope your listeners will be a part of it.
Yes, got to be
Yeah,
to
thank
be
you.
a part. Okay, so we can find you Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, everywhere.
Twitter.
Everywhere. The
Everywhere.
same name, Rashida Johnson Music, because I like to
Okay.
be consistent.
Yes, Rashida Johnson Music. Please go get. And then where can we find Path of Life?
Oh, Amazon, iTunes. Apparently, when I registered the song, they put it everywhere. It's on Spotify.
Okay.
Somebody put the whole album on YouTube, so you can have it for free there.
Oh,
it's everywhere.
Don't get it for free.
Please don't get it for free. But at this point,
purchase it.
Yeah, and we were just So it's
Purchase
my
it.
website, Rashida Johnson Music. It's everywhere.
My goodness, this is Rashida Johnson. I love you.
I love
to
you too.
pieces.
Thank you for having me,
girl,
Tiffany.
She showed me the other. I think that was 3. Oh, that's when the other lady was present. She was always this lady, but this lady has bloomed into something utterly phenomenal.
This is God's grace, because it took me
Goodness.
so long to find who I was.
Yeah.
I was so afraid to be me.
Yeah.
And over the past 3 years, something's happened. God
I
gave
love
me
it.
courage and grace, and He was like, "It's okay to be you. It's
is.
okay to sound." Because my voice doesn't sound like everybody else. I thought because I didn't sound like a gospel growler, I'm like, nobody likes me. And I grew up singing in church, and I had producers tell me, they was like, you know what, you need to go to a white church because they will love you, and white people do love me, and I love my white brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Praise the Lord. I found out my daddy had me DNA tested. Right, I'm actually 13% white, 6%
that's all right.
Asian. So I love everybody.
I can see that.
I couldn't see. I'm like, who's Asian? Where's Jackie Chan in my family?
Your
But no.
eyes slant. I mean, I can see that.
But yeah, so I didn't think that I fit. But God was like, you don't have to fit. You don't have to sound like everybody.
That's right.
And just be because your uniqueness is what would get you paid.
And she's
People
going to
hire
be
unique
paid.
people. I want to be paid.
Oh, you're going to be paid. You're going to be paid. Your voice is utterly amazing.
Thank you.
And I wish you much, much, much more continued success because it's
Thank
going
you, sis.
higher. In
Thank you.
2018, it's going to be that year. Yeah. I adore you. Please make sure, Rashida Johnson, make sure, Path of Life, go to her website. Don't bootleg it. Don't do
Don't
that.
bootleg
Don't
it.
do that. Because it's something that you do that you want someone to definitely honor what it is that you do. So don't bootleg it, please. Please, please, please. Please.
Love you. Thank you.
I'm going to go with Rashida Johnson. Up next, last but certainly not least, the brothers, they are in the house. We have Joseph Polk and Martell. I don't even know what to say about you because, you got all types of things behind your name. And I'm just going to put you two in the hot seat. You just come on and pull up, and we don't even need no breaks for you because you guys just know. Because you guys are doing a great show, a phenomenal production called Broken Covenant.
Yes, ma'am.
And Broken Covenant, I'm not really sure how it was birthed,
Okay.
and so I would like to find that out.
Okay.
But what I do know is that I saw. Yep, you just pull it on over to you. What I do know is that I saw a little glimpse because I was at a rehearsal that I kind of snuck in, and I saw it, and it looks really, really amazing. You were really funny.
Yeah.
I do remember that, and I really love the fact that you're doing this story.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the story and why you wrote it
Okay.
and chose to bring it and why you picked the people that you did.
Gotcha.
Because you got Kiki Sheard in the building.
Well, initially, and a lot of people don't know this, initially I wrote this like 5-6 years ago, and I wrote it actually as a film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wrote it as a film.
Okay.
And it wasn't titled Broken Covenant.
Okay.
It actually had a long name. It was titled Men Don't Love Easy, But They Love Hard. That's what I initially titled it. And but I wanted to shorten the name.
I like that,
I
though.
wanted to shorten the name. And I just remember driving down the street. I prayed about it, like, God, give me the name. And I was driving down the street. I was in Dallas, Texas, because I had moved to Dallas, Texas. And I was driving down the street, and I was at a stoplight, and Broken Covenant came across my spirit.
Wow.
And it fits for the story,
Yes.
because the story is about love, faith, forgiveness, church hurt. There is a such thing as church hurt.
There is. There is.
So that's where it kind of came from. It birthed itself from stories that I know. I typically write about stories that's near and dear to me. So I may know someone that has experienced it, It may be some experiences that have to do with maybe part of my life, someone in my family. And I just feel like it was a story that needed to be told. Like your previous guest, I feel like there's a lot of negativity.
Yes.
A lot of negative stories being told in film, television, reality. And I don't knock anyone's genre if that's what you're into. But I just remember those days growing up being able to watch TV as a family.
Yes,
Go to the movies as a family.
Yes.
True.
And so what I like to do is attempt to put out good content. Something that's telling a story. I want you to leave wanting more. I want you to leave being blessed. Leave the theater renewed, refreshed.
Yes.
You know, and you know what? Okay, I've been through some things before. But with God on my side, you know, I can do whatever. You know, so that's what the story, without giving too much to the people.
Right, yeah, you don't want to give too much.
Yeah, that's basically what it's about.
Okay, so Joseph, your role is what?
Jackson. Jackson Thomas. Actually, he's a single father, raising his daughter. He's really into this woman that he's into, but she's kind of you know. So without giving everything, he goes through a lot.
Okay.
And he figures out that God always got him, no matter what.
That's good.
No matter what he goes through, even the trying times.
Yeah.
Like the one young lady said, Chris.
Yeah.
You know, you go through a lot. Even I forget her name. Rashida. Such a beautiful name. Beautiful person. Love your spirit.
Yes,
Love your spirit. You don't know the dark places that God got you, but He's molding you to something even better in that dark place. And a lot of men go through it personally, and we forget who we are. But then when God brings you out, you even stronger. You're brighter. You see different. You see a lot of things different from when before you got there, in the midst of it, and when you come out, you see, like she said, you see the glory, you see the light, you see where you supposed to be at. You just can't see it while you're going through it.
So true.
So God got you no matter what.
And I'd add, no matter when you try to run, because sometimes what we do is we try to run from what God
Yes, we do.
wants to
I've
do
done
with
it.
us. Me too.
Several times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And keep coming back.
Well, that's because no matter how much you run, it never leaves you. If it's in you, it never leaves you. And with this story, you know, just to add a little bit, the story is he tries to run. From hurt, anger, he tries to run. But at the end of the day, it's only what you do for God, you know, will last. So it's the thing of being renewed, you know, coming back. And I'm a firm believer that we leave God, but God never leaves us.
That's true.
No matter
That's
how much
true.
you try to
So
run.
true.
Yes.
You know, you can turn your back, you can stop going to church or whatever whatever your relationship with God is, you can try to run from it. But at the end of the day,
Can't hide.
at the end of the day,
you can't.
you can always come back because God He's not going nowhere. I know that personally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's an awesome play. It's an awesome ride.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so excited.
So the day of the production is what day? It begins on what night?
It is Sunday, November the 5th, 2 shows,
Okay.
3 p.m., 7 p.m., Detroit Northwest Activity Center.
All right. Okay. So I'll be there right after church.
Okay.
Right after church.
Right after.
Right
after.
Oh, you say you're
Right
going to bring the anointing in the building. too.
Yes. Now I just pray to God that I'm not slaying on the floor that Sunday. You know, I'm always tired the most and get the best sleep after church. I can't sleep that because I gotta come.
Oh, yeah, you got to come.
But I'm sure, like I said, I saw a piece and it looked so funny.
Okay.
It really looks like a really great play. Now, when you were doing the roles, did you already know Joseph and say, you know what, or did you meet him and say, yeah, he's that person?
Well, good question. I've actually known Joe for some time now.
Okay.
I'm originally from Pontiac.
Okay.
From the Pontiac area. Joe's originally from Saginaw. What brought us together was, about 10, 15 years ago, church.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what happened was, I wrote 4 films.
Okay.
And I shot a short film last year called A Story of Faith. It's about a breast cancer survivor.
Oh, wow.
And Polk played he played Annette, and he did an awesome job. So when I decided to do this this play, I reached out to him. But again, he had to audition, so I didn't give him anything.
Yeah.
He had to audition now, but he deserved the role of Jackson. He killed it.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Like we met through church. He was actually a mentor for my sons.
Okay.
Like I said, I was going through a lot, and I was a single father. I was going through a lot, raising 3 sons. Blessed to have 3 beautiful daughters in my life, but my 3 sons. And I was going through a lot, relationship wise. You find yourself in places, you question your manhood, fatherhood, being a husband, all that. But as he was mentoring my son, you never know who's mentoring you while you watching somebody get mentored.
That's good.
And I didn't hide anything from my children. I still worked, and he knew me from. God forming me.
Yes.
And that dark place I spoke of, God was forming me. And he called me. I took a break from acting. I was acting. I was modeling. I don't know if Terrence remember. He took pictures of me.
I now remember.
Exactly. I was modeling in the D. Detroit actually formed me as a model.
Okay.
And I actually did my first acting roles here with Comedy Central, Detroit 187.
Okay.
I was in that a few plays. Detroit area. So when he reached out to me about the movie, I was like, cool, I'm with it. He's like, no, you got to audition like everybody else. I know you doing your acting thing, but we good friends, you're gonna work. And it was such a good movie. Then he reached out about the play, and I was like, okay. And I wasn't, when he asked me to audition, I was like, I'm all right, I'd rather do behind the scenes until Keena.
Yes.
She was like, he gonna be Jackson.
Wow.
Martell was like, I was just waiting for him to ask for it.
Wow.
So, and it blesses me because I've been through some of the stuff that Jackson been through, so I know it personally without even the script. I don't know if he know that about my life, but we sat and we talked. He was like, oh, I knew that.
Wow.
I knew that. Don't worry about it. And it was so much on point about my life. Just about, I was like, I can do this in my sleep.
Wow. So you are that character. You're able to embody it in a true form.
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy.
Okay, so if we want to get tickets to the play, how do we do so?
You just can go on brokencovenant.eventbrite.com.
Okay. Tickets
are $25.
Okay.
VIP is all sold out. Thank God.
Yes. Yeah.
But we still want to.
It went fast. And you can stand on the side with everybody else, so you get more VIP if you just right there at the stage. You can just stand at the stage.
I gotta stand at the stage.
Yeah, we'll bring you a chair.
That's all right.
What kind of chair? You want one of these?
I'm staying. I'm not bougie. I am, but not like that. Not like that. But I'll stand. I'm all right.
So we want to fill the building. We definitely want to fill the building up, and and again, not just for ticket sales. I just truly believe that this is a story that will bless many people. I truly believe that it will bless many people. Yeah. And we want to do more. We want to go on the road. Yeah. We want to take it to different areas.
All right.
So much is going on with Taylor One Films. It's, we're getting ready for the increase.
Speak that. Yes, it's going to happen. You have to speak a thing. We have to use our mouths the right way. And so it's going to happen. And so it shall go. The right person is going to see it, they're going to want it. And then the next person is going to want it. And it's just going to happen. You just have to be that bold and speak it that way. It's going to happen. $25.
Yes.
Northwest Activity Center.
Yes.
2 shows.
Yes.
3 o'clock and
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
And, okay, so got to ask question.
Okay.
Kiki shared.
Yes.
How'd you get her? And not that it's hard.
Right.
But she has a very busy schedule, and I know she's very selective, so it's a blessing.
And I'm glad that you asked that question, because when I wrote this again, I sit down and said, I just looked and said, if this ever became a play, if this ever became a film, who would I want in it?
Yes.
And honestly, she crossed my mind. Once she crossed my mind because I remember seeing her on film and she had a cameo on the Preacher's Kid with LaToya Luckett.
Yeah.
Then not only that, it was just something about the character, because her character plays the daughter of a preacher. So again, just never gave it any thought after that. And both myself and my executive producer, we were sitting down at dinner, like 4 or 5 months. When I told her the same story that I'm telling you right now, that when I initially wrote it, she's a person that I thought of. She said, let's reach out to her. Okay, why not? We reached out to her. She read the script, and she was very interested in it. And she said she wanted to come on board. So I was proud of myself because it told me something about my script.
Yes.
You know, that she was willing to come on board. It doesn't go against, you know, her beliefs.
Yes.
And she's a very busy woman.
Yes.
Her schedule is like crazy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because I think when I came, she had flew in just for the rehearsal. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So,
it's a blessing.
It was a blessing, you know, to have her on board. But even not just her, even like the local talent that I have some people that they're not known names right now.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is, I like how Tyler Perry takes certain people, and if you work with Tyler, and then you want to work, and he keeps you busy.
Yeah.
If this is your passion, that's what I want to do. You know, I want Joseph Polk to be my Mr. Brown.
Yes.
You know, my LeVan Davis, my, LeMan Tucker. Let's work.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of talent here in the Metro Detroit area.
It is.
You know, Pontiac, Southfield, Detroit. So,
Saginaw.
yeah, Saginaw. You know,
Saginaw. Definitely Saginaw. I mean, it's a great cast. It's an awesome cast, very friendly. Everybody has an awesome chemistry with each other. Even with Kiki, she has great chemistry.
Yeah.
From the first time she stepped on the set and just blew open the role.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you didn't even put one of my sisters up from my church,
Yeah,
Sister Wanda. Yeah, she in
oh,
there.
you know Sister Wanda?
Yeah, she's funny. She go to my church.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
It's
And she's
it's
funny.
an awesome cast.
She's
Yes.
funny. Just who she is funny. But just who she is in God and being funny, whatever you use in the world, when you bring it and put it in God, he just blowing that thing so much. I'm telling you, she keeps me smiling.
Sister Wanda's role is for her.
Yes.
When she didn't the role that she plays in the play, she did not audition for.
Oh, wow.
That role was not even initially in the play.
Wow.
But when she came and auditioned, in my spirit, I saw it.
Uh-huh.
I saw what I wanted her to do. And she, like I said, she came to read for a different role.
Uh-huh.
And I put her to the side. No, I got the perfect role for you. And I'm not going to tell it.
Okay.
But yeah, Miss Wanda doing her
You'll
thing.
definitely remember.
Yes.
You don't remember nobody. You don't remember Miss Wanda.
You will definitely remember her.
Well, I want everyone that can hear to please come out and see Broken Covenant this Sunday.
Awesome.
2 shows, 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
The tickets are only $25. Please come out and support. This is an amazing cast. And I don't want to say starring, but featuring Kiki here, Sheard, and just Polk. I'm telling you, don't sleep on this man, because I watched him and I was so tickled, and I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, so I was trying to keep laughing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to go. I'm gonna need to go before they put me out. But you really need to go and see this play, because it really will speak to a lot of different things. And you never know. God just shows up in mysterious ways all the time to speak to us in ways that we just know not of. And you'll definitely get your laugh on, but you will also leave changed with a changed mind about a lot of different things.
Very true.
And you definitely want to support people in their craft and what they do and what God has called them to do. And these gentlemen do it oh so well.
Thank you.
And definitely don't want to miss out on, and I don't want to mispronounce her name. Oh my goodness, because that's who I talked to. Akina
Long Benton.
Yes. Because her name is spelled a little uniquely, so I didn't want to butcher that. But there's so much talent here and around the metropolitan area.
Yes, it is.
And we definitely want to support that. So please make sure you do. How can we follow you guys?
You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Taylor One Films. I also have a Instagram page, Broken Covenant, for the play.
Okay.
And I also have a Instagram page, A Story of Faith, which was the film that I shot last year.
Yes, and we just got out of Breast Cancer Month, but please make sure that you follow him. Broken Covenant. Broken Covenant.
And A Story of Faith.
A Story of Faith.
Yes.
Please make sure that you follow that. I thank both of you guys
Thank you for
being
having us.
on the go with me, and
Thank
much
you for
continued
having me.
success.
Yes,
and we are going to speak. This is going to go on the road. We need to see this. We need to see more of this.
Thank you.
I thank you so much. Please make sure that you continue to tune in every Thursday right here. And you can find me 6 to 8 p.m. live. We're in the heart of the city of Detroit, but we are nationwide. And we're taking the world over by storm because there's so many wonderful things for me to introduce you to. I thank you guys so much for being on the go. And remember to sow love and to show love because there is someone who needs you exactly the way you are. Until next time.